Veronica Mars, I'm watching you. Private eyes.
Hello and welcome to your podcast, Veronica Mars. I'm Joe.
And I'm Travis.
And today we are bringing you Veronica Mars Season 3, Episode 11, Poughkeepsie, Tramps, and Thieves.
So this is not a bad episode, per se. It's just not a memorable episode, if that makes sense.
It feels short. Not short. I don't know. There's not a lot going on.
There's not, for a season that's been jam-packed every episode of stuff, this episode has basically one storyline.
Yeah, with a little bit of
With like
stuff
a little
sprinkled
bit of
in.
Keith just in there for a second.
Yeah.
Considering most of the cast is not in this episode, it very much feels like that.
All right, let's see what iTunes has to say. So iTunes tells us, Veronica helps a friend locate an elusive one-night stand while Keith continues his murder investigation. That's it.
I mean, that's the episode. That is pretty much all there's nothing else they could talk about.
So should we start with the Keith stuff?
Let's dive right into his, 2 scenes. I didn't really pay attention when he was talking to Lamb about, oh yeah, I guess Lamb's in this episode, so that's a main cast member, I guess.
Yeah.
I just didn't... The only fun part about Keith's storyline is when Veronica and him had the talk with each other about... she brings out the CD, the Discman, not Discman, the CD player boombox.
Oh,
and she's like,
yeah.
when you rip off your tearaways, thrust towards the bride, it's her special day.
And then, when he goes and interrogates the Lilith house, and Nish is just like, "Are you all stupid? Do you not watch the news?" Oh my god,
I love that. We've talked about this all season, how no one ever seems to know who he is, and it's like he was a big deal. He had he was on he was on with Julie Chen. He made it to the big times, and she's just like, "I know this is Mr. Mars. This is illegal. I'm not saying anything."
It's good. That's the second time we've gotten that, where everyone's just like, "Do you guys not know anyone in this town?" It's nice to finally see it.
I can get it because they're college students. They maybe didn't live in Neptune. They maybe just came into Neptune.
Yeah.
But also I don't know. I feel like they made the Lily Kane murder seem like such a big deal.
It was supposed to be something that rocked a lot of the world, not the world, but the country or state, at least more than Neptune.
A little white girl died.
Yeah, from a movie star. Well, I guess it wasn't known at the time, but after, yeah.
And then I like the cute little when he pulls up beside Lamb, and Lamb's just
oh yeah,
and Keith does not even acknowledge it.
He was living his best life there.
See, this is the Keith stuff we should have had earlier in the season when they're so focused on the college stuff. Keith doesn't need a whole full storyline. He can have 2 scenes, and everyone will be okay.
Because he does those 2 scenes well.
Yes.
And it just leaves us wanting more versus why is he having an affair?
Okay, so I guess we should jump into the next storyline.
We could do the main storyline, I guess, Veronica and Max.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that Max called out he's like, yeah, I think the room was supposed to be Canada. It was pretty lame. And Veronica kind of her face is I put a lot of work into this, sir.
And you always know, if you didn't know it was a Diane episode, you know it is because Hooker is used 20 times throughout the episode. Which, not even going into the whole proper word usage with it, it's just anytime she has an episode, even if it has nothing to do with sex workers, she something about writing or hearing the word that she loves. And I get that. Maybe not with that word, but with other words, I get.
I had a lot of issues with the whole hooker
My
thing.
big issue was the whole, like, there was a slight discourse of sex workers are not viable partners.
Well, it was almost like sex workers are just like not viable people.
Yeah.
Which is weird from a Diane episode because she usually isn't as judgy of a certain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
This episode very much feels like it's written by a man, just because like the sex worker like Google search, which is like funny, but also just like it's super like they make it grosser than it has to be. Like, just the way everyone's talking about Wendy and just like acknowledging her. It's all a lot of like really like.
I like that Veronica at least has disgust for him when they're like talking about the site and everything, and she's like, "You all are gross men."
Yeah, but it's also like some women, this is how they have to make a living, and some women make a killing and don't care that they're sex workers.
If I could, let me tell you how I would.
I know, right?
And I love that. Like looking back at it, 2007, they even had their own like. Hooker's not the right word. They prefer escort. And it's like, okay. It's just funny seeing like how the evolution of the word
but it's also
came
weird,
about.
Right around this time, another show came out called
Hookers?
The Secret Life of a...
Call Girl with Billy Piper.
With Billy Piper. It was around this, maybe like a couple years later. But their perception of like escorts and hookers was a lot more modern and like
non-judgy
as this one, and it's like,
but honestly I don't expect much more from a CW show,
I guess, but like I don't know, there's been like some really good storylines with like sex workers that have not been like sex shaming, because at the end of the day it's very much implied Wendy just goes back to being a sex worker.
Yeah, and
it's like I actually really liked Wendy. I thought she
was also Max is not secure enough to date a sex worker.
No.
Like he is. You can't be a virgin who doesn't know what they want sexually and know what they can provide, like in an intimate sexual way, and try to date a sex worker. It's just not even like, even if she quit, he's always like judging her in the back of his mind because he's not confident in himself to fulfill.
Yeah, because it's like, and it's also made it very clear that like she's not a bad person. Like she just didn't have she kind of just fell into like bad mistakes, and like I don't know why we're penalizing her. And of course Veronica, like from the get-go, was like, she's the worst, she's a sex worker, she's another female, she's not a blonde female, so she must be the worst, she's just trying to get you. And it's like, Veronica, can you just like cool it down, because this is going to be your theme for the next few episodes. So just cool it down. I also thought it was really weird when Wendy and Max like reunite and they're just making out on Logan's couch. I'm like, why did they stay there?
I know,
like
he has his own room.
Because it's also not like Veronica and Max are super good friends. It'd be different if it was like Wallace. Or
like, Mac, whatever. Piz, Parker,
but like
Weevil.
It's not. So it's just weird because like Logan and Veronica are just watching like Sense and Sensibility, and then like they're just making out on the side.
It felt like they just kept him there because they needed him there for the scene to keep working. They couldn't get anywhere else if they pushed him into a different.
What if it just felt like, okay, Diane, you're able to use these 4 actors this episode, but Lamb and Weevil are only available for 1 day, so you just have Keith, Veronica, and Logan. So make a storyline out of that, and then Diane's like,
okay.
Do I get some guest stars? Yeah, you get like 5, and that's the max. We have enough money for 5 guest stars.
Well, and I love that. I don't know if she was like, hey, I want to use Max, but the fact that he was being used like throughout the season in little pieces, and then finally having an episode with him, I really like the buildup of that.
Well, because it's this is why it feels like a Diane episode, is because she takes these reoccurring characters. Because even Madison pops back up in this episode.
And we'll talk about Ha.
Yes. It feels like a Diane episode, because it's like, yeah.
You got the hookers, you got the
Madison,
Madison,
building,
you
and
got
you even had the
guest
Lilith
stars
House back.
Even who?
The Lilith House girls back.
Yeah.
So it feels very much like a Diane episode, because Diane is the only person on this crew who's like, let's expand this world so it's not like guest stars.
Hey, so we've used these characters before. Why don't we just use them again? They're available.
They're available. And like the actors are good. I think the actor from Max is great. I really like him. I think he's like, there's something about him that like really works for the storyline. I really did. I will say, I thought it was very over the top, and I hated the very beginning where he's like, if I don't find her, I'm going to take a bath with my blow dryer. I'm like, okay, let's make fun of suicide. That's always a good way to start our episode.
One thing that really annoyed me with Max, though, and it's purely aesthetic, he has a single gauge in his ear.
Oh, does he?
Like, the other ear does not have an earring. And
it's because he's not there yet.
Single earring only works if it dangles. Like, it just looks stupid to have one gauge. I'm sorry if you at home are listening to this and have it.
He's going to get the other gauge.
Is that... Oh, so the first one was when he lost his, like, handy-ginity?
Yeah.
He got a little hand job. He's like, I'm going to get a... single earring.
I'm going to get a gauge.
But no homo. It's not going to dangle.
No homo.
Also, okay, speaking of no homo, but homo... There is a Feist poster in Max's room, and that's either his or his roommate's, and there's a homo in that room. You don't. Do straight guys listen to Feist? Is that a thing? I understand Feist got really popular with, like, the Apple commercial, but, like... No,
do you know what
I guess maybe,
funny?
like, indie, if you're, like, into indie band, like, indie shit. But,
I get what you're saying.
It's a very homosexual-centered artist.
Well, I think his friends are so into this hooker thing. I'm like, one of them has to be gay. They're just trying too hard. They're trying way too hard. I thought it was really funny how so much talk about Battlestar Galactica is in this episode, and like it's because like this is when like that Battlestar Galactica was like really big, like
it's so annoying,
the remake, and it was like everywhere. And
like, I get it.
I like how they're talking about it, but it also feels very much like it feels very forced, but it's also really funny because then like, and they're also talking about Comic-Con and all this nerd stuff. But then we go to Max's room, and I guess they obviously couldn't afford any like posters for Battlestar Galactica, or couldn't get the rights to show it,
or Star Wars, or like,
because there's nothing in his room that actually like
geeky
fits with what he's saying. It's all very much like generic like set posters or like band posters.
Get some Legos up there or something. I don't know.
Get like anything. Get like throw in like a action figure or something. But it's very clear they couldn't get the rights to it because like whatever.
And then like towards the end, I really liked when Weevil comes up to them in the lunch room cafeteria, and like he just takes a little bit longer to get like, hey, don't bring up that she danced for this party. But I don't
feel like Weevil's that clueless. I feel like that felt very out of character for Weevil. Like I just don't see Weevil going up to a girl, because what we learned from Weevil is he actually respects women. He's like one of the few guys on the show who respects women. So I seriously doubt he would go up to her and be like, hey.
Which is a long call from the pilot episode where he definitely did not.
His hog. Yeah.
Oh, Weevil has grown into such grown up. I
but
love
even
it.
like, I think he was just like saying that to Veronica because Veronica was just like antagonizing him. But I think because what we've seen with him and Lily and like just in general, I don't think he's an awful guy.
Well, and then, okay, speaking of him, I love that he brings up it's never the person you intended to clean up a mess that has to clean up the mess that you make.
It's this case.
It's like, do you think the dean really went out there and cleaned up those eggs? Really?
This is like the greatest like retail truth for any person. It's like when you bitch and complain to like the person at the bottom of the store who makes like minimum wage, do you really think they have any control of anything that's going on?
Right.
Like,
do you
really think the whatever, the top of this company is like, you know what? She makes a good point. It's like, no, because you're bitching to some like teenager at McDonald's who's like, I don't care. I'm just going to spit in your food for you being a cunt to me.
Well, like, I'm kind of very, especially during these coronavirus times. I have zero tolerance for people now. And luckily, my managers are pretty cool and have let a lot of things that shouldn't slide. But anytime someone like wants to like bitch about, I'm like, I'll shoot it right up to they've been begging for something like this. Thank you. What's your name? All right, I'll make sure they know it came from you. And I'm just like way over the top about it and just rude. I'm just like, what do you want me to do? Like, sure, I'm a manager or whatever, but like, this is like a corporate level thing you're wanting like to get done, and I'm not the one. I'm like, you can call corporate. They have a number. They have a suggestion box. Ooh. It's going to be a lot quicker than me. Oh, well, you know, you guys thought you might have like a inside line. Like, no, we'd probably be paid better if we did.
My favorite thing is, so right now in British Columbia, Canada, there's no group sports or activities. So we had to cancel all the yoga, all the Zumba. And of course, like, I worked that day, so I had to call all these people because our, like, management and the people who are, like, ahead are like, here's a list of people you have to call. We're just all going to stand here and talk while you guys make these calls. Okay, bye. The amount of these, because our Zumba and yoga ladies are also just the worst people in the world, are very much like, well, I don't understand why you guys have to cancel it. Like, it makes no sense. It's like, the government of Canada is telling us to cancel this. It's not because we want to. It's the government of Canada. Well, do I get, like, something free because of it? I'm like, you get a refund. You get your money back. Why would you also then get something on top of that? Just like,
it's not like you came down, like got in the room, and then they're like 10 seconds in, they're like, oh, it's canceled. Like, you're not wasting any time. You're not.
It's so ridiculous.
We're telling you ahead of time, so you don't do that. That is what your gift is also, being told ahead of time and your money back.
The government of Canada, it's not like we just decided to cancel all the yoga classes. We have to, or we will be shut down.
Actually, we don't want to make money, so we're just going to cancel everything.
To be fair, we don't make money in general. We're basically run by, like, taxpayers, as people like to remind us on a daily basis. Do you know how demeaning it is to be told, like...
You understand that this is government-funded.
I pay your tax dollars. You have to do this.
We have to listen to that.
I pay your paycheck. I pay you. My money goes to you.
Listen. I love telling a cop that. But I would never tell that to, like, a state employee, like an actual...
It's the best part is when you look up their account and you're like, well, you're not even from this city, so technically your taxes don't pay my pay stub. You're just being a bitch.
Oh, that's even better. I would, yeah, you know.
Also, not to get, like, morbid or anything, but, like, people are so rude to us, and we have all their information right in front of us. Like, address, phone number, we have everything. Why would you piss us off?
Dude, when I worked at a dental office, I had so much information. I'm like, really? Like,
yeah.
You've given me your social. Like, come on. Not that I'm going to or ever did, because that is the biggest violation. But, like, I could never imagine being, like, unprovoked rude to someone that had all my information. Like, how do you know they're not psychotic? Like,
I know.
Like,
also, I would never do it at a dental office or any kind of office where I need to make an appointment, because that's how, like,
where someone's going to be drilling into your mouth.
Well, also because it's like, yeah, no, sorry, we don't have any appointments for the next 5 years. Sorry.
Oh, I would make appointments work for people that were nice, and then other people just got whenever I could find something.
Whenever I need to make an appointment, because, like, my schedule is not, like, the greatest sometimes. Like, I try really hard, and I'm just really nice. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I don't have a fucking, like, meltdown. I'm like, okay, well, I guess if you guys have any availability in these times, I'd really appreciate it if you call me back. And usually they do. They're like, hey, we have an opening, Mr. Simpson. Come on down.
Oh my God. So I almost had a meltdown. And it was just because this was like September, when I was in that dark period. And I was trying to get into the doctor's office. And I was like, any Wednesday or Thursday. Like, I do not care anytime. Like, oh yeah, I have a Thursday at like 1:00 or something. Like, oh yeah, perfect. She's like, all right, well that will be October, and I'm like, wait, that's like 5 weeks away. She's like, yeah. I'm like, I need in there now. Like, what can we do? Like, and it was just it. I mean, I was just like, I understand. Like, I even told her, I was like, if I come across like a certain way, it's not at you. Like, I get like everything's booked up.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, are you experiencing any, have you been experiencing any COVID symptoms? I'm like, isn't my appointment 5 weeks away? Like, don't you need like 14 days on that? And I'm like, sorry, I get it. And I was like, I don't know. I was just trying to be outwardly like, I'm upset, but it's not at you. Like, I
try to do that if I'm on the phone or like, especially customer service. I want to be like, it's not you I'm mad at. Yeah. It's a situation. Because like, I've been there, but this is stupid and like, we need to resolve this.
And most times when you say that to someone, they're like, yeah, I get it. Like,
yeah, that's the thing.
Because they don't agree with it either. They're like, this makes my job harder. Like, it's just,
I always tell people, I'm like, I've done customer service my whole life. I get it. You're like,
yeah, and that backfired for us.
You're the mouthpiece of this like awful situation, but this
don't do it. That
doesn't mean I'm gonna like walk away here from this. Like, we're gonna try to hash this out.
Just tip them well at a restaurant because you can monetarily.
Except
let
for
them
I think
know.
we brought this up before, but never let your waitress know that you work in customer service.
Never.
Because as we learned from Olive Garden,
she will
then ignore you for the rest of the day and spend the entire time chatting to another table.
You will get one refill in that hour you were there. Yeah. One refill.
And we would have bought more booze. We were ready. I was ready to buy more booze.
It was like 5 minutes from my house. It would have been fine. Like, we could have lifted if we got drunk. Like, it was
and it's
Ubered,
it's so funny because it's not even like it was that busy. She was just like spending all her time on one table.
There was a fucking blizzard out, and there was 3 people in the whole restaurant.
I know, and like, because she came in, like, it wasn't even like it took that long for something. She's like, "Oh, sorry, it was a bit backed up." And we're like, "Well, okay." I was like, "Yeah, it's cool. We work in customer service. Don't worry about it." And then she took that as a excellent. I don't need to actually help these folks.
Oh my god, I get a break. Awesome. I'm taking a longer break, guys.
These fags are good.
They've gotten half a drink left. That should be fine.
They're just gonna help themselves. I gave them permission to go to the back for refills.
Oh my god, we would have been so gone. Okay, back to Veronica Mars.
I don't know. Also, I'm really upset. We were supposed to go to Olive Garden on Tuesday night, but because of all the restrictions right now, we didn't. So I'm very upset.
I do not understand your fascination with Olive Garden.
I don't either. And I'm an Italian.
It's not even good.
I know.
There's like...
It's the breadsticks. You can't say the breadsticks are not good.
They're all right. I could make you those at home from like frozen.
You just like that mushroom ravioli.
That's the only thing that's good.
Okay, and Joe got so angry. He's like, they don't even have the mushroom ravioli. I'm like, they do. And he's like, oh, they do. Okay.
Okay, in my defense, for like 2 years they didn't. Because I'd have to go there with family.
Oh my god.
It's the worst.
Because at Olive Garden, we're family.
Ugh, unless you're gay.
Then you're not family.
You're something. Oh, I did like that Veronica had little moments where she was really sweet to Max and kind of understanding. That way, like, the whole episode wasn't Veronica just, like, berating, like, either Max or Logan or Wendy.
But I still don't understand why Veronica has such, like, women issues or just, like, relationship issues. I mean, I get it.
That has to be... Okay, so you know how they have, like, character Bibles and, like, TV show Bibles? At the top of it, it has to be, does not work well with women.
Yeah,
for Veronica.
Like, that has to be, like, the statement.
Number
like
one. The statement piece of the series.
Veronica
just hates women. She hates women.
Do you want a show about a woman who hates other women? We got it for you. Veronica Mars.
Like, in it... I don't want to say it, but it tends to be women who are sexually active. Yeah, because her only female best friend is Mac. And we all know Mac is, like, a eunuch. Well, up until the last episode.
Because, like, she was really good friends with Meg, and Meg was also very much, like...
pure... Until she got with Duncan.
Because Duncan awakened her.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, God bless. God bless.
Like, even when it was, like, Kaz, Meg was like, I just want to be on his arm. Like, I want to, like, the aesthetic of it. Like, that's what I want. Like, but once they start being, like...
When she's like, ooh, cane money? I can spread a leg or two.
Couldn't we all?
But then it's weird because, like, Lily was her best friend and Lily was a whore.
Yeah. But then at that time, Veronica wasn't sexually... Oh, I guess she had Duncan. But she also wasn't sexually active. She was very much of a virgin, so it was okay. Like,
because I don't
know.
My biggest issue with Veronica's, like, I get in season 1 because Veronica was raped. She can have a lot of issues with, like, sex and
everyone, like, period. Everyone.
It makes sense. And then they, like, resolved it because it was like her and Duncan, and they're both drugged and whatever. But then they had to, like, retcon that and actually have her rape. And then I don't think they ever had her address that.
No.
And then it just there's no follow through. Cause, like, there was nice moments at the beginning of the season when Veronica and Parker kind of, like, maybe, like, one nice moment, that one episode where Veronica's like, I understand, like, I get it. And then we just, like, never talk about it again.
Yeah.
And then, like, Veronica's gonna be super pissy at Madison, but, like, Madison didn't drug Veronica.
Nope.
Well, she yes.
Oh, we'll
but
get
Dick
into it
drugged
next episode.
I know.
We sure will.
It's weird. It's so weird. Because she, even with Parker, like, right off the bat, she had issues with Parker because Parker was, like, sexually active, and then it wasn't until Parker.
Oh yeah, it was this whole thing. Like,
and it wasn't until Parker was, like, raped. Where Veronica's like, maybe I should be nice to her because she was a rape victim.
Yeah,
maybe I can, like, retract the clause. I'm like, Mac, never have sex, Mac. You're like, just don't.
Oh, I know.
But also, Mac, get out of this friendship.
run, Mac, run. You and Parker. That's why she has Parker.
Mac.
That's why her and Parker have been so close, and Veronica's just like,
because
hey, buddies, when I need you.
Yeah, Parker's a much better friend than, like, Veronica. Like, Parker's taking Mac to, like, was it Pilates or
yoga?
Yoga, yeah.
I think it was yoga, yeah. Oh, but Pilates sounds right as well.
I know, right? I feel like Pilates was really big in, like, 2000, like,
something that got westernized. You know,
yeah.
One of those. And then the whole extorting a dirty judge, always relevant for our times. I like that they didn't go to, I don't know.
I really enjoyed Veronica's, like, giddiness to it, and, like,
yes,
like, and
she is, like, so stoked for it. She's like, I like
that they set up he's a dirty judge. Like, it makes it feel less gross. But yes. I also like how Logan's like, we didn't have to do this, Veronica. He's like, this is part of, like, the problem we're having is you feeling like you have to do this.
But also, yay. Like, I'm surprised she wasn't just like, hey, you don't have to pay me. This is, like, better than sex right now. Like,
I was kind of hoping that, like, I don't know, a part of me wanted, like, to see Veronica interact with this judge. There's, like, so much more they could have done with this. It felt like such a throwaway where I'm like, I want to see this judge, like, in the high heels.
I think this comes back towards the end of the season.
Maybe.
I don't think we see heels, but, like, I think this situation comes back. I could be wrong, but I think it does.
I kind of hate the reveal that, like, the pimp is, like, this woman, and she's like,
actually, like, women can treat women certain ways too.
It was very much like, oh, it's not the. It's
like, also 2007 though, but so, like, hashtag girl boss hasn't existed yet,
I guess.
So
but
this is pre-girl boss.
It's not like
where as long as you're a boss,
because it's a woman, like, a woman helping other women. Like, it's. Like, it was very weird and, like, on the nose, and the whole makeup thing seemed very forced, and
I liked that part though, where Veronica's like,
I like that she figured it out, but then also Veronica went, like, 100% like, women are the worst.
Oh my god,
like,
she would have set fire to the limo. I don't know why she was like, oh, I've been tricked. Like, season 1 or 2 Veronica would have set fire to the rain. Like, she would have been so pissed. She would have went after that other sex worker's family at that point. Like,
yes.
Oh my god. It's just I
want to know where Max got $10,000 from. I assume some sort of like school fund.
Max? He got it all from those tests.
Oh right,
it's like $300 something for like
that's right.
Not even the answers.
I forgot that he makes money on the side. Oh, I also really like that Veronica's like, do you guys do like ethics tests? And he's like, the irony of that wore off like after day 3.
Oh, there's a lot of good like just one-offs with this.
What I wrote in this episode is
so good.
This episode has great lines. Like I was very like into this episode just because it was very witty.
I was just gonna say, if it wasn't for that, this episode would have just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, because Veronica and Max also have like great chemistry. I'm like,
they surprisingly
we should have had this dude instead of Piz. Like this would have been far more interesting of like characters like that Veronica can work off of. Because like, I get they're trying to set Piz up as a love interest, but even as like 2 characters, Veronica and Piz make no sense interacted together. Like, there's none.
Like, the only reason why is because of Wallace, and now we're supposed to believe because of that they're also going to be dating?
Yeah, because, like, Veronica and Max already, like, just the beginning of this episode.
Oh, it's banter. It's cute.
Yeah, when he's like, oh, I hear you're, like, some sort of junior private detective. But I'm like, but a part of me is like, she's an adult now, so she's not a junior private detective. She's just a private detective. And then he's like, first of all, that's really cool. Second of all... And then she's like, I love when she's like, oh, you just want me for like my mind and pay me? He's like, is there an option where I don't have to pay you? And she's like, friends and family, which you are neither of.
Oh, it would have been really nice to have him around. And that's why I really like that they've like used him a couple other times throughout. Yeah. And it wasn't like with the sorority, they were actually part of like the whole rape storyline, so it kind of made sense. They had to. Max just like popped up. He was like, oh yeah, I do things. Like, sure, he was tied into like single stories, but it wasn't like an overarching mystery or anything. He was just like, hey, I go to this, I go here, Max, I got some tests.
He feels very much like kind of like corny from like the high school days. Like he's kind of he's not
grown-up,
ever
smart,
really
corny,
vital, but he is. It's always a treat when he shows up.
Yeah, and so I really
smart, corny, like a corny if Corny hadn't done drugs a lot.
Oh God, if Corny had just smoked weed and didn't decide to like drop acid in high school, like he took it a step too far. But I love Logan's face when when Max sees Wendy at the door and they kind of like reunite for the first time. Like Logan looks just like so happy that they were able to do this. He's like, oh, we did something good.
Can we talk about the Logan's best line when the first like escort leaves? And he's like, that's just a waste of money.
Oh my God. Well, if we're paying her anyway,
I know, like,
and then he's just so defeated. It's like, this just
Logan
seems like
is
such a waste of money.
Fun in this episode. And like,
oh, this is just wasteful. That's what he said.
Yeah, this is just wasteful. And then I like when she walks in and she's like, oh, hey to you too. I'm down for this, guys. It's just gonna cost extra.
Yes. And then before she comes in, he's like, it's wrong that I'm nervous, right?
Yeah, right. And then I really like when Veronica and Keith are talking. Veronica's like, that's your okay. It's just Logan.
I guess we can kind of pivot this into the Logan Veronica stuff.
I just have one more line from them when they're.
Well, we're still going to talk about them.
Yeah. Well, when Wendy and Max are making out, and Logan's like, we should really hang out with your friends more often.
He's such a trooper in this. Like,
because it's like disgusting. He's like, I got like a prostitute on my couch. Like, I'm not really like down for this. He's like, Dick puts these cleaning like staff through enough. Like, do I really have to?
Do I have to add to this too?
Yeah, let's talk about Logan and Veronica. I would like to start with, I really enjoyed their little banter when they're talking about the first time they're talking about if Logan's ever slept with an escort.
Why when they're like in the bed and Veronica just keeps pushing the whole "have you been with a hooker" thing? Like,
well, I like it before they're in the bed when they're sitting and talking.
Oh,
when they're eating like the burgers.
Yeah.
And then I like how Logan's very much like, I'm trying to figure out where to like step in this landmine. And she's like, well, you picked your choice. And he's like, it goes from like, have you, how many, like blah, blah, blah. And also like, I honestly believe that Logan has never in his life needed to sleep with a hooker. Like,
no.
Logan got enough from Duncan and Dick throughout the years, but he's satisfied.
Yeah. And she needs to realize bros are bros for a reason. Like,
also, like, yeah, it's weird because, like, I would never think Logan would just maybe, like, I guess because he goes to Mexico a lot. I can see where Veronica's coming from.
Yeah, but also like, at that age, you're doing it because for one, you don't get any, or two, you want to do something that your high school girlfriend won't try. And I believe that either Dick or Duncan would have tried those things with him.
Yeah. Also, Logan's not like a sex hound. Like, it's Dick.
It's more like
obviously
other people want to have sex with him and he obliges.
Yes.
He's like, sure. Yeah, I like to have sex, but I'm not like seeking it. It finds me.
Which is like, whatever, big
Fair.
dick energy to like the moon and back.
Which we all know he does. So like,
yeah, good for him. Good for him. And this is back then when he still had an ass. So like, it's true.
It would have been bigger in orange shorts. Let's just say that. And then at the very beginning, Veronica's doing a lot with Logan to get the worst fry piece from him.
Oh my god! Yes, it's like the baby fry that no one wants.
The edge piece that's
fries.
like probably all just like burnt or whatever, and she's doing all this for that. Meanwhile, there's a whole thing of like perfectly good fries on there.
Because it would have been funnier if that was like the last fry.
Yes.
Or if it was like an onion ring, like
or
I'd
a
put
good fry
effort for an onion ring,
or even a good fry,
or like a curly fry.
Yeah,
but also like it was cute, but it also wasn't. It wasn't worth the length it took to get there. Like it wasn't. It's like clearly we needed to pad out this episode, so let's have this like 5-minute fry joke that doesn't actually land.
Yeah.
But I do like the only part I liked is when she's like, put a little ketchup on it, like make it worth the girl's while. Yeah. Like that part I enjoyed because like I'm a ketchup bitch. I need ketchup on my fries, so I get it.
Are you okay? So
I'm not all over the place.
Okay, good. Also, for one, it's better that way. And two, it keeps other people from taking your shit.
Oh my god. Okay, so that was like my friends and I, whenever we used to go out like for lunch or dinner or whatever, and I'd order fries. My best friend Christina would like never get fries, but she'd always pick up my plate. So
do you understand how quickly I would have punched her in the throat?
So I learned quickly if I smother my fries in ketchup, she won't do that because she doesn't like really.
Ooh, because that is such a like hot button thing where people are like, either you do or you don't do that. Like it's either that is the Antichrist or that is the best way to do fries.
Well, I only started doing it out of necessity, like necessity for my fries, and then it's just like kind of like come with.
Yeah, Austin doesn't like when I do that, so I do it.
But I prefer the all over. Yes.
It's just I very much I do not like to share food.
But it's
I
funny,
will buy you food.
Because it's like I smother my ketchup and my boyfriend doesn't, and that very much works for us as a relationship.
Mm-hmm. That's how it is here.
Yeah, like one of you needs to be a smother, one of you needs to be a dipper.
I also do not like to share food, and he does. And I'm just like, I have told him, it's 11 years at this point, and I've told him we can get another one so that you can have some, or I can order a little more.
Yeah,
like any of these things, but I am ordering this because I want this amount. And when you take from it, that takes away from the amount I want.
Because what was I
like? Just don't take my food.
He likes to eat food out of my hand because he thinks it's cute.
I would murder someone.
And then because when we were ordering something, he's like, "Oh, do you just want to like split it. I'm like, well, no, I want a full meal. So
Yeah.
I don't care what you get, but like, I'm not splitting my like sandwich because I don't want half a sandwich because half a sandwich is like for children.
Like, thank you. Or people in California. Like, we don't do that
Yeah.
elsewhere. Like, it's just, it's better now. It's been established, not to take my food.
Established.
We can never get divorced because I can never go through that again with someone.
Well, like I was eating like,
Or I would just never be with someone again. Like, it's so, don't take my food.
I was eating a Kit Kat and he took a bite out of it as I was like, had it in my hand. And I'm like, okay.
You only get 4 bars as it is, and you want one of those. So you want a quarter of my food right now. When I would have just bought you a fucking
like,
Kit Kat
and he only
bar.
took a bite of like half of it, so it was like not even. It was like a half of a quarter.
Oh, you don't want a whole other Kit Kat bar? Cool, I'll take the other 3. Just say you want some, so that I at least have what I know I wanted.
I will say it took me.
We can have the rest later.
For the longest time, I wasn't much of like a sharer, like germ wise. So it's taken me like a little bit to just like get past that. Cause I'm like,
oh, it's not even germ. I don't care.
Well, see,
we do far worse to worry about food germs.
See, it was for me for germs at first, and I'm like, because we were like,
I'm like, what else do I put in my mouth?
I
like,
know, because like he took a sip of my drink, and a part of me was like, that's disgusting. I'm like, wait, why is that disgusting? Like we've done other things that are far more disgusting.
His tongue has been all swabbed in your mouth,
I know,
and you're worried about a drink.
It's been a part of me for such a long time where I hate sharing drinks.
I will say though, like if it's towards the end, no, because it's backwash.
That's what I always joke about him. I'm like, I don't want your dirty backwash, and he was be like, whatever, you love my backwash. I'm like, how dare you, sir?
Well, okay, that backfired on me. So I'm like, it's not the same. I'm like, what are you gonna just like spit on me? He's like, really? I'm like, okay, well, fine. Like, it's still not the same.
I know, like it's. The bottoms have no, like, rights in these relationships. We need to unionize.
Listen, okay, are we having sex right now? No, so we're not in the heat of the moment, so I'm not into anything. So don't touch my fucking drink.
Luckily, he doesn't like diet soda, and that's usually what I drink, so...
Ugh.
Perks for me.
Well, I guess...
Oh my god. It's also really sad, because a year ago, I was, like, at Joe's place, and Facebook keeps reminding me.
Oh my god, Austin actually just asked me yesterday. He's like, wasn't Travis like a year ago? I'm like, it was exactly a year ago. He keeps sending me pictures.
I miss Joe, obviously. And then and it's funny because it's like a Madison shows up in this episode. That's when we talk to like
I know.
So Amanda
Nora, yeah.
And I just miss all the Pop-Tart. It's not even like I can go down to the States right now, which is a sad part.
My god. Travis is mad he's not here because he can't have Pop-Tarts.
Sir, you guys partook in the Pop-Tarts too, okay?
Yes. Well, now I can't have them, so... I'm not going to be fun at all to have around next time with junk food.
No, it'll be better. Because the first time I kind of got it all out of my system of like the shit that I wanted.
Yeah, because it's just going to be healthy food because I can't have half the shit.
As long as we can still go to brunch, that's all.
Yes.
Nothing will take brunch away from Joe.
I can get tons of dietary restricted food for brunch.
Okay, let's get back to this episode.
Surprisingly, I can't. Or unsurprisingly.
Where did we leave off?
Madison.
Well,
oh wait,
Duncan,
no, more about the cheating. Oh no, we were talking about fries.
I like when Logan and Veronica are like in the bed talking, and they're like, I do like that Veronica's trying to be very open about it and like trying to, but it also I like it, but it also feels more like Veronica tried to like punish Logan for having secrets, when like Veronica can have as many secrets as she wants.
Which I will say, it was good that they had at the end, like Logan asks, like, do you still love me? And then she like turns over and smiles at him. I
like her little look where she's kind of like angry, but she's also like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. I asked you. This is my fault. And whatever, but...
Yeah.
Also, okay,
this is an issue. My biggest, like, gripe... So they bring up, like, how Mercer, like, left Mexico to go rape someone and then go back to Mexico. This feels more like them trying to, like, cover a plot hole than, like, actually explaining it away.
Right.
Because it's like... What was the purpose of, like, Mercer? They kind of made it seem like in the Spin Eggs episode that Mercer... He was more of a rapist out of just, like, opportunity more than, like, like he's like, I have to every night I need to rape someone or like whatever. Because like it made no sense for him
like
to
he's
leave.
a Zodiac killer.
Yeah, like it made no sense for him to go back to Neptune, rape someone, and then go back to Mexico. Because I like the idea that he drugged Logan. Because like that makes sense, and I like how. But I wish the way it was acted. He's like, I don't know, maybe he drugged me. Again, that could have been like Veronica could have been more like, well, I know how it feels like. That could have brought them closer.
It would have been a good moment. Like that would have been a better revelation.
It felt
I feel
so much more like the writers trying to fix a plot hole that someone pointed out on like a forum than like actually having a nice scene.
Yeah, I get that
because
though.
like it makes no sense. Because what's the point of having two of the rapists if only one's actually raping? Because then that's a problem with these plot holes.
Well, the whole point to have two people was for the throw you off.
Yeah,
type
but
thing.
then like one of them wasn't actually doing anything. So then like that's why it makes these like why did Mercer leave Mexico? Because also like no offense, but there's women in Mexico that he could have raped. It's not like he has to go rape like a Hearst. It has to be a woman who goes to Hearst College, or else it doesn't count.
Yeah.
And like honestly, if they had never addressed it, I don't think it would have really bothered me.
Yeah,
but the fact that they like brought it up,
because I was trying to move on past it. Like, come on.
everyone's trying to get rid of like past like okay, we're done with the rape storyline. Let's stop bringing it back up.
Can we not talk about it for an episode, please?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Madison's hair real quick because
oh my god! So I'm assuming this is the mullet she was talking about.
Well, okay. So my thing is, it looks weird when she's at the Neptune Grand, but at the end, it looks really great.
When it's curled?
Yeah, at the very end. I thought it looks like when she's at the lingerie store.
I like the bangs. It frames her face really nice. I just don't like the back is a little choppy.
Yeah, but that's only at the Neptune Grand. Like,
we don't see her. We don't see her turn around.
True. Okay, that's fair.
At
the lingerie place,
lingerie shop. But it curled and stuff. Looks really good. Also, like, she looks great. Like, she looks fantastic.
Oh my god! I was like damn. Like, no wonder Logan did what Logan did.
She looks really good. Also, it's just nice to see Madison. It feels very forced. I'm gonna hate why they bring Madison back. There could have been much better reasons to have Madison in the show.
Mm-hmm. That could have involved Mac.
And this is the one time I wish Diane had not brought Madison back.
I know.
The one time.
I know. Because like if we would have went just from season 2 to the movie, perfect. But then you have, and I try to forget that this hiccup happens, but the next episode is my least favorite episode in the series, so it's kind of hard to forget it. And thank you, Diane, for letting me see her. But I'm really pissed off about what this next episode's about to do.
I will say I appreciate that Amanda kind of like is 100% Madison, and it's nice to have Madison back, even if I don't like why. Madison walking into the room and being like, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
I should probably go do something that doesn't suck. Like,
it's nice that Madison, like, we pick up exactly where we leave her off from, like, the prom episode is perfect.
Oh yeah. I love it. Okay, I can't remember who said. Okay, I remember now. In when the pimp and her bodyguards come pick up Veronica and Max, and he's the bodyguard's like going through her purse, and he pulls out the taser, and he's like, "This doesn't look street legal." I fucking love that.
I also really enjoy that his name is actually Mr. Happy Fist. Because like I thought that was just like a colorful colorful metaphor.
Well, that's all I have for the episode. I've gone through all my notes.
I will say, like, again, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but my biggest issue with this episode is the first part of the season was so cram-packed with so many storylines and so many characters that this episode has one very loose storyline and like a quarter of a C plot, like a splash of milk in your coffee. Keith's storyline is a splash of milk in your coffee, and then like the Veronica stuff, like a
little powdered sugar on your coffee.
Yeah, it just feels like I don't understand why they picked like I don't know. It just feels like Diane this is all Diane had to work with. Because, like, if you have Logan and Lamb, or not, you give Weevil, why not give Weevil, like, a side story? Or, like, a Weevil working with Keith, or Weevil insert anything. Like,
but I also remember, I believe this was also the season where Francis was going through a lot, so it was harder to probably.
I will say he looks a lot better this episode.
Yeah,
he looks like he
looks a lot healthier.
But also, you have Lamb. Give Lamb a storyline. Like, you have Lamb and you have Lamb and Madison.
T-4 episodes. Let's get this Lamb a cooking.
Do Lamb and Madison. Do something with them.
Oh, okay, fair. Okay, fair.
Like, you have them. You have both of them.
Oh my god,
like,
she brings down the sheriff's office. Let's do that. A scandal, an affair.
I don't know. It's like there's things they could have done. They had a lot of cool characters in this episode. I honestly even would have taken more of the Lilith house, because, like, what was the point of having them for one scene? You're paying these actresses for one scene. It's not like actors get paid like, I assume they'll get paid the same if they work one day as opposed to, like, 3 days, because it's like a one-shot, like, paycheck.
Oh, no, I believe they're paid per day.
I don't know.
Unless they're like a salary. That's when you're starting to negotiate, like, actual
But I feel like some of these guest star actresses at least had, like, multi-episode contracts, because they're in multi-episodes.
Maybe.
I don't know. I would assume the Lilith House girls had multi-episode contracts.
It could be, with the fact that they were able to get them all at the same time.
Yeah. But anyway, I just feel like this episode is very forgettable, because I always... Okay, so I watched this... We were supposed to record last week. I watched this episode last week. I had to rewatch it last night, because I forgot basically everything that happened in this episode.
I did not rewatch it. So you can probably tell that last night throughout this conversation. So should we get into some segments? Yes.
Oh wait, no. We also, the fact that, like, I do really like how Veronica is just pushing Madison, which is like, you don't have to try so hard to, like, date Dick, blah blah blah. And I love Madison's response, like, what are you talking about? Logan and I hooked up in Aspen. I guess you guys were broken up. As a friend, I recommend no One Pieces. Logan doesn't like it. Like, that was worth having Madison, and whenever she's gonna, like, destroy whatever, that was worth it right there. I also still don't understand why Veronica hates Madison so much, because, like, when Wendy's like, oh, who is that? And Veronica's like, she's the embodiment of everything I hate. I'm like,
oh, it's okay. You'll get your 180 next episode.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
So, like, people are gonna be, like, very concerned as to, not concerned, but, like, I'm actually really upset that this is, like, the beginning of the fall for love, and I never thought I would say that in my life. But
what a wild turn. It took season 3 of all seasons for you to enjoy them as a couple.
Like,
well, it's also the first season where they're just kind of like a couple.
Also, because Logan is finally, like,
mellow,
chilled the fuck out.
Yeah.
And he's not, like, a spastic child. So, like, he's
mellowed out enough to know to, like, be like, hey, we need to break up.
But also, yeah, I'm like, it's because I'm so into this Logan, because he's so, like, but he's, like, he's the, like, I don't understand why people, like the season 1 and 2 Logan and, like, love him. This is the Logan you want. This is the Logan you want to take home. The mature, caring Logan who just wants to snuggle.
Because, Travis, this is television. And of course, no, I don't want to take the bad boy home, but I would like the bad boy to break my back a bit. So yeah, I'm going to lust about the fictional character.
Whatever. I would much rather this No, I honestly, like, season 4 Logan is by far my favorite.
He can organize this bum to fight. By bum, I mean
season
ass.
4 Logan is my favorite Logan. And I think season 3 is a good transition into that. I can't remember too much about movie Logan, so I can't say so much. But
probably third best Logan.
I think this is a good transition.
I don't know. I feel...
I will say,
he feels a little... From what I remember, I feel like he was a little neutered in the movie.
As a whole, I think Logan so far has had the best, like, character art. Because he actually has, like, a realistic character art.
Well,
like,
that... And he's given more time.
He's given more time.
Like...
not saying I don't, because I do like that Veronica doesn't change, because that's
part of her Character arc.
But I feel like Logan, I feel like off screen he's like getting help, and I think that's what's making it work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Segments.
I'm surprised we got to an hour. Let's get to some segments.
That's why I've been trying to get these segments going.
Sir.
As kind of a side project, I dispense fashion advice.
Fashion. In this segment, we like to talk about our favorite outfits of the episode. What inspired us in 2007, what we liked, what we didn't like, and what was kind of just worn. I just have one, and that's Madison's last outfit. I didn't like her Neptune Grand outfit, really.
I like her Neptune Grand outfit, like
really?
the white shirt. I really like it.
It looked very disheveled for me. Like, it looked not as put together for...
Fair.
It looked, honestly, it looks
like a hooker outfit.
Yes!
Which is why I like it. There's something about it that really works. That's why I like it. Because it fits with these
well, and then the whole thing of Veronica, have you ever been with a hooker? And then, Madison walks in looking
I know! I think she looks good. I like her hair as we discussed in the last scene better. I liked Veronica had a purple Henley on at the beginning of the episode, which I liked.
Henley? Henley on. I thought you were calling it a Henley on?
No.
All one word? I was like, what?
No. I also had to say, Veronica's hair looked really bad this episode. Yes. I already miss her bangs. She's had the bangs for one episode and they're already gone.
These are my rape investigation bangs.
These are mid-season finale bangs. You get them only once. You will because I think she gets bangs again later in the season.
Maybe.
Her hair looks really choppy this episode. I don't like it. But I did she wore a bandana at one point, and I did not mind that. Or a headband. Yeah,
okay. I was wait, I'm just never a fan with her.
I also, only because I was talking to someone on Twitter about Logan and Orange. Logan has an orange blanket, and for some reason I really like it. I thought it was such a nice touch. And for some reason I just really enjoy that he had an orange blanket. I'm like, this is on brand, and I'm okay with this. So that in my mindset is he went and bought this blanket. It's not a Neptune Grand blanket. He went and bought this blanket. Or brought it not from home because his home was destroyed. But he went on and bought this blanket.
He went to Bed Bath & Beyond by himself.
Yeah.
And he picked it out. He's very happy with himself.
Yeah, he's very happy with it. And it's his favorite blanket.
Anything else?
No.
All right, let's move into...
These are the jokes.
Our favorite quote of the episode. In this segment, we like to do just that. Talk about a favorite quote of the episode. Do you want to go first?
Yes, I have two. And I was really... actually, I had 5, and I'd narrow them down to
Jesus.
2. This episode was great for lines. It's a when there's
Why
no
do you
actual
sound
story.
like me with every Diane episode? This is the first one where I'm yeah.
When there's no actual story, the lines really that's the only thing I was paying attention to. So my first one would be with the Max and Veronica.
Can you still find her?
Yes, but she'll still be a prostitute.
That was golden. And then I also liked when Veronica's with the two guys on the search engine, and she's like,
from 18,000 down to 2. Your attention to detail has served us well, young Jedis. So, which blurry-faced fatherless girl is she?
that killed me. I was dead.
I'm wow, it's I'm talking about myself. Thanks, Diane. I feel called out here.
Yeah, it was good. I thought, even though I thought the characterization and perception of hookers was very 90s, there's some good lines in it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, mine is also of that ilk, and it's instead between Veronica and Keith.
Will you be home for dinner?
No, I'm meeting 2 hookers over at Logan's later.
On a school night?
Off-peak hours. Save a few bucks.
You're not really.
Fiona and Lisette. They're just a couple of gals putting themselves through college. Man, quit bringing me down with your bourgeois hang-ups.
I love the bourgeois hang-ups. That killed me too.
That and the whole, Keith, you're not really, right? He had to stop. He's no, she wouldn't, would she? Like, he legitimately, for a second, was concerned, and that just set me off. Like, it was...
Well, it's funny. It reminds me of, like, was it season 2 when, like, it was the end of season 1 and Veronica's like, Dad, your hooker's here.
or beginning of season 2 where... Oh, no. It was season 1. Silence of the Lamb, where Keith's like, you don't ever go down by the bars, like, whatever. And she's like, whatever, but sleeping with the bikers or whatever. And it's, I think that, no, that wasn't a Diane episode.
Is that when he had a really, like, harsh reaction, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he's like, what?
Yeah.
It was of that ilk. And it was...
Well, because then she's like, why would you ask me that?
Yeah.
That's right.
Listen, guys, this was like 50 episodes ago. It's... All right, let's move into...
Go Pirates!
MVP, our most valuable pirate. In the segment, we like to talk about the character that we thought did the best of the episode, who we personally liked the most. Who are you giving it to?
I'm a little torn.
Me too.
I want to give it to Wendy because I actually really liked her in this episode. I thought her as a character was a really interesting idea, and they kind of butchered it, like, at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been far more interesting if she had left Max, because she had good reason. Like, it's true. They would never be able to work out. He can't handle the fact that she's had...
He's not secure with himself.
Once.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea that she went back to at least, like, stripping, because that's kind of where it was implied that she went to that bachelor party.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or Madison, because it's Madison.
Yeah. Mine was between Madison or Nish. Madison. And then Nish, because thank you. Just thank you for being like, are you all stupid? Do none of you watch TV?
And she's like, oh, angry.
Pick up a newspaper?
She's like, guys. But also it makes sense because she was like, she ran the school newspaper.
It would have been really bad if she didn't. Like,
because like because she was also like, yeah.
But come on, guys. Come on, ladies. Get it together. And also, maybe even Logan.
I kind of want to give it to Max a little bit, too.
Like, this had some good MVPs.
For an episode that had nothing going on, it had a lot of really strong characters.
Because who was writing it? Oh, yeah. Diane.
I am going to give it to Madison, though, because her line at the end was fantastic.
I'm giving it to Logan. I'm gonna give it to Logan. Let's have the couple together.
Yeah, let's have the
also,
OTP
like,
together.
I think Logan did really good. Not only like he was just cute throughout the episode and fun, but like just dealing with Veronica in this episode and her landmines that she said about. But also, in her defense, if he hadn't, just say that. Like, how is it going to go any further?
It's also true. He also made it seem very much like he had.
Like, or he had but hadn't type of situation when he could have just said no. Like, and what would she have been able to... It doesn't lead to anything else if you just say no.
I know. But I think it was so cute, I'll let it.
Yeah.
Logan gets a pass from me. I feel like, but I know I'm going to have some issues with Logan in the next couple episodes. But at this moment in time, Logan gets a pass.
Loving it here. All right, let's move into...
Pirate points are earned by being a contributing member of the school.
Pirate points. By the time we get to the end of the episode, we figure you know how we felt about it, whether we liked it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle. So instead of giving it a numerical score or a letter grade, I'd like to say how many pirate points it's earned. How many is it earning for you?
This one was tough. I don't have anything funny.
I don't either.
Mine is just like enough pirate points to skip this episode.
I'm giving it enough pirate points to bring back Madison Sinclair.
That works too. Like, read the cliff notes of this episode.
Maybe watch a couple clips.
Watch a couple clips. Watch a couple clips.
Are you okay? You were very oh my god, that's the thing you could do.
Just watch a couple clips of this episode.
Watch our favorite quotes and then the Madison stuff.
Oh my god, I was talking to a coworker and I said cliff notes and she had no idea what she was talking about, what I was talking about, because she's 19 and she's never heard that phrase. And I like it. Oh,
Is that
there's something
not?
inside
I guess
me.
the internet being like
Yeah.
the internet, it's not as
like
needed.
something inside me like broke a little bit. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I've never heard that. Like, I'm like, it's basically Wikipedia. Check Wikipedia. Yeah. Doesn't that hurt a little bit?
You realize
I know,
like
right?
you're gonna fall out of touch with pop culture. You're gonna fall out of touch
Which
with like
really
certain
scares
things.
me because I always told myself I'd never be one of my coworkers who can't use computers. But I'm like, what? I'm going to be at some point.
I think it's more like I'll be fine because I was always I have a very good intuition with computers. It's
fair.
apps. Like,
Yes.
I'm scared of TikTok. I have not downloaded it. But
I
I know
watch
I'm an
TikTok
old, so like
I watch TikTok videos on YouTube because
Yes.
that's safe for me.
Yes.
That's
Also,
safe for me.
I'm still not too sure about the whole like information thing. Like,
Well, my
I
favorite
don't know,
part about
that thing
TikTok is this whole
weirds me.
move of like straight guys acting gay for attention, and I'm kind of all for it. I'm all for it.
I'm ready to pick up TikTok for that just so I can make fun of them.
I'm like, you know what, guys?
I love it, but I'm gonna make fun of them.
Go for it. You can call us fags in the day, and then like on TikTok, act like one of us. I'm all for it. There's something about it that's just, it works for me.
That's a step for rights. That's a step in the direction
That's
for
a gay
rights.
rights right there. Yeah.
Although I would prefer it opposite. If you could just pretend to be gay on the streets and call me a fag in the sheets, then that might tick a box better.
I mean, I'm sure all these like straight guys are like, well, if I'm gonna play the part, I might as well suck a dick.
I mean, it's only gay if you swallow.
Yeah, it's true.
It's only gay if you swallow and then like really enjoy it, because you could swallow a little. I mean,
It's only gay if you don't use a condom. Okay, it's fine. There's a protective layer between you and the dick.
that's a no homo layer. It's like
Just
a popsicle.
Double wrap it, bro. Double wrap it.
I'm sorry, I have an oral fixation. I've stopped smoking, so this is all I could do now is dick through a condom.
Okay.
That brings us to the end of the episode.
really
if
does.
you, for some reason, liked what you heard today, please.
We've ended our episodes on very weird notes the last couple episodes, I have to say.
The last one was fisting, and I'm glad this was like straight blowjobs instead.
Okay.
I can say that.
I mean, that's a step up.
It's a step up for me mentally. Please subscribe. 5-star the podcast. And be sure to follow us on social media. We are at Veronica Mars Pod on both Twitter and Instagram. I'm gonna be honest, I've been really bad with using those lately. But I doom spiral on my personal Twitter, that you can find at Ojo, that is OHJEAUX. Follow me there. Let's hang out. Travis, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Travis Truant. That's Travis, then TRUANT for Truant.
Beautiful. Perfect. Awesome. So we will see you all next week for Veronica Mars Season 3, Episode 12. There's got to be a morning after pill. I'm okay, so I've only seen this episode 1.5 times. No, 2 times.
And Mac's not even in it. So, like, most of the cast is not even in it. There's, like, 3 main characters in it.
Maybe it won't be as bad as I remember. I'm going to go into this not mad. And, you know, I have a completely different point of view from when I originally watched this.
This is also, like, Madison's last episode of the series until the movie.
It's also kind of like I have an anger towards it where it's not super specific. Like, it is specific, but it's also not. And I have an issue where, like, 10 years down the line, I realize I was remembering it wrong and maybe I shouldn't have been mad at it.
I don't think you are.
You know, also, I know what happens in the episode. So, all right, we will all see you all next week. Have a great day. Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
You tried to say Veronica Mars. We get it. Girl detectives are bitchier than regular detectives. Not into it.